The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome in to the Sportsocracy. Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, Brian Haynes, alongside in the Wicked Weeds studio. It is a Monday morning, and welcome into the program. And don't forget to follow, share, and like the Sportsocracy on all the social medias. We're glad you are here with us. Hit us up in the comments. Anything you want talked about today? We had a little technical difficulty getting started here this morning, but we are away and rolling. And, of course, we got to give Jeremy his due on Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Milwaukee goes home, and guess what? Milwaukee remembered how to play basketball the way the Deer should.
Wow, winning.
Giannis Antetokounmpo and company pounded the Phoenix Suns inside, finally figuring out, hey, we're bigger than they are. If we just, get DeAndre Ayton in foul trouble and just keep going to the basket, guess what? We're going to end up on the free throw line as many times as we want to.
Yeah, and Drew Holiday just getting all up in Devin Booker's launch kind of helps out a lot, too.
Right. Of course, we had UFC 264 over the weekend. We'll talk about the fallout of that and what was, once again, a very disappointing night for UFC. I feel like they keep having these over and over and over again. I get it's a combat sport, and it's, it's a dangerous thing these guys do, but what a string of bad luck they've had so far.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, the third fight in the last 3 pay-per-views where somebody has broken a limb on camera.
Yeah.
They boo-boo kitted in their pants real bad. It was not good at all.
Yeah. A lot of people, and I realize there might be, a few soccer fans here. I didn't realize how many of you were actually paying attention to the Euro.
Yeah.
I have seen so many Italy versus England posts.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, it is catching fire. Soccer is arriving in America, and the fact that it's coming, that it's invading my timeline, someone who willfully ignores everything soccer, shows the growth of the sport. Mm-hmm. Everybody's getting into it.
It's sports. It's live sports that and then there's nothing else going on right now. So that helps out the Euro Cup a lot when there's nothing else going on.
I mean, we do have other things going on. We got baseball going on. You had the draft last night.
Oh, the baseball draft. That's always a fun.
You got the home run derby tonight.
I can't wait to tune into that. I'm actually excited for the home run derby.
Oh, hats off, though, to Ronald Acuna.
Oh,
my God. You never want to see a young star in any sport go down like that, but there you go. Ronald Acuna tearing his ACL over the weekend for the Braves. It's just one of baseball's shining stars that they could lean into.
Yeah.
Going down for the rest of the season.
Not good.
Bad breaks, Braves fans. Sorry about your luck. Anyhow, we'll also do the best and worst case scenarios for the 2021 NFL season for the NFC North. Of course, everything in that division is now hinging on Aaron Rodgers making his decision on whether or not he's going to come back, or at least letting everybody else know what he's going to do. He's already made up his mind. We know this.
Yeah.
I mean, he even said it over the weekend at the celebrity golf tournament of, you know what, after this tournament is over, I'm going to take another week, and then I'm getting back to work. He didn't say where, but he knows.
Yeah, he basically said, I haven't done anything so far as training goes, and I'm going to start to train in a couple weeks.
Did you see the clip that came out of him throwing the ball from the tee box into a boat?
No, I did not.
Yeah, it was a good 100 yards away.
Yeah.
And he nailed it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Absolutely nothing wrong with it. He doesn't need training camp.
No.
He doesn't need any of this.
Yeah.
He's going to show up and he's going to play. Anyhow, let's get into the basketball last night. NBA playoffs, NBA Finals, Game 3 back in Milwaukee. Giannis and company took it to the Phoenix Suns. I mean, the only aggression shown throughout the game last night was Cam Johnson sticking his ding-ding in P.J. Tucker's face.
He stole his will to live. And as somebody that watched Cam Johnson at North Carolina and covered him for ESPN in Nashville, I did not know Cam Johnson could do that.
Right.
I saw him on the breakaway like, what the fuck are you going to do?
Oh, my.
Oh, you're just going to go full-on dick face, eh?
Yeah.
Well, that's a move I didn't know you had.
Cam Johnson's special, though. We saw it at Carolina. He can be a hell of a role player in the NBA.
I think you're using special wrong. But,
okay. Well,
but he
could be special and role player in the same sentence.
Yeah.
They kind of contradict themselves a little
That's kind of like we were talking earlier, double X slim fit.
Yeah.
Those words don't go in the same sentence.
I disagree.
Goat stew.
I think there are tiers in the NBA, and obviously he's not one of the top tier guys, but in that coming off the bench, sixth man kind of a role.
Yeah.
I think there's room for some special guys.
You just said goat stew, and I have to bring this up because I was listening to the show you guys had on Friday, laughing my butt off, and I need to know something, Tank.
Yeah.
Where the F have you ate goat?
The Dominican Republic.
Okay, so you've had. I mean, I'm sure you've had goat cheese, but you've actually ate goat meat.
Yes.
Did I say that wrong?
Eaten goat.
Yeah.
Oh well.
8's the number between 7 and 9.
I said 8. I do that all the time at home, and my wife, who's an English major,
I experienced goat in the Dominican Republic. It was the specialty night or whatever, and there was goat stew, and I had to ask the chefs is this real goat? Like, this is actually made out of goat? They said,
it's synthetic goat.
And they said, hell yeah, it's made out of goat. Why do you think we call it goat stew? And I said, I had to ask.
Yeah, it's amateur goat. It's keeping its amateur status so it can participate in the goat Olympics.
Did you just, I didn't know. Is it actual goat, or is this like the greatest of all time stew? Like we made a stew and named it after Tom Brady. I had to know one way or the other.
Jesus.
And so I ate the goat stew. The goat stew was very good. And then I shit my pants for 3 days afterwards.
Yeah, it's because that's not food.
But it was delicious. I
would eat just about anything. Let's be honest here. But I didn't know that. I have never been to a place that has offered goat.
No,
yeah.
That's most haven't.
Yeah. But sorry, I had to throw that out there.
You're just uncultured. You're just uncultured.
Uncultured.
That's exactly what it boils down
Probably.
to. But yeah, would I eat the goat stew again? Yeah, probably, because it tasted really good in
You would
interim.
sacrifice 3 more days of shitting your pants just to have a good tasting stew again.
It wasn't the greatest idea of eating the goat stew a day before international travel. It's not a lot of fun. Walking around the Atlanta airport like kind of John Wayne style, because you're just a little raw,
Oof.
You've been there.
Just got
exactly. You just got to pad it.
You can't wipe anymore. You just straight up pad.
Right.
Because it just doesn't work.
I get it.
I feel like I have to do this with him more often than I should. I have to explain something to you.
Yes.
Food. Friend.
That's bullshit, because goats are assholes.
Friend. Food. Don't conflict the two.
Why is the goat your friend? You haven't spent a lot of time around goats, have you?
What do you think?
Exactly. He doesn't understand how awful human or awful beings goats are. They're not human beings, obviously.
No.
But you can't get within 5 feet of a goat without it trying to take your kneecaps off.
I've seen them on some internet clips screaming, and it's terrifying.
Yes.
So I try not to go near any goat.
No. Goats are not safe to be around. I don't get behind that, and you should eat them. Eat them and milk them.
You should really never get behind a goat anyways.
Ever. Bad idea. And, the only time that the line of food and friend gets skewed is that.
Because we all have to have our nights out at the buffet.
Yeah,
Chinaman food.
Hey, we weren't going to go there. You got to keep your racism to yourself.
Frankly, cats to me are neither food nor friend.
No.
So,
No.
not a cat guy.
Yeah.
Would you milk a cat? Can you milk a cat, Fonta?
What is your obsession with milking things?
I got
Because
nipples.
now I'm
Can you
stuck
milk
on
me, fucker?
this whole idea of you just the only acceptable milk to drink comes from a cow.
Adam Black just asked me a question that it will take me just a second to answer.
Okay.
Yes, the only acceptable milk comes from a cow. That's it. That's why when you go to the grocery store, there is a litany of cows' moo juice, and that's good. And
Moo
you
cow
drink
fuck
it.
milk. as Lewis Black used to say.
Yeah, and you drink it, and it's fine. And I feel like I have to say this. Friend. These are all friends. We don't eat our friends.
That's meat.
We don't eat our friends. That's not food.
Deer is food.
That's not
venison
food.
is one of the best meats on the planet.
That's not food. Don't eat Bambi, you dick.
Who would have thought this guy?
No, I'm eating everything.
This guy over here.
Look, I'm going to be really honest with you. All right, I am a 34-year-old man that is somewhere in the path of an 8-year-old. If I had the ability to eat chicken nuggets and french fries every day, I would fucking do it, okay? My wife will chime in at some point and say that he's 100% right.
Yeah.
I eat a very limited number of foods. I never realized, and it's not that I'm picky, it's not that I won't. Yeah. I've eaten a lot of things. I've eaten alligator. It's like eating your wallet. Yeah. I just don't really understand why.
I feel like someone as country as cow shit as you has had fucking deer at one point in your life.
Here's the thing. I have a rule.
Possum raw at one point.
You ate what raw?
No, I said I would think, looking at you and knowing your background from West Virginia, he would have ate a possum raw.
Well,
at some
here's
point.
the thing.
Possum pokes in.
There's probably somebody on this set that has eaten possum, and it's the one casting the aspersions.
No. That's the one thing I haven't done yet. Nobody has come up to me and said, hey, I got some possum stew. Now, if you did, and if you know how to make possum stew and you want to bring some to me, I would most definitely eat it.
And Adam Black said Gator is amazing. I mean, I liked it. It's fine. Here's what I have yet to do. I have yet to challenge the system of chicken. Because I have never eaten a chicken wing or a buffalo chicken tender or anything like that and gone, you know what? I've done it. I've eaten all of them and I don't want to do it anymore. I haven't done that yet. If I ever do, then we'll slide into the weird meats.
Oh, okay.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Okay. There used to be a place here locally in Asheville called the Spirits on the River, and it was like a Native American themed joint. And they had all kinds of weird meats. It was bison and rattlesnake and just, they had Rocky Mountain oysters.
I ate one of those one time too. Grossly overrated.
Okay, so you won't drink the milk of a goat, but you will eat its balls.
It's not a goat ball. It's a bull ball. It's cow. Cow is food.
Yeah.
Cow is food. So, I mean, all the parts of cow, food. You keep eating do I need to go back to the fucking visual? Friend! Friend!
I guess we won't. I guess we won't see Jeremy on any sort of survivalist show like Naked and Afraid or anything like that.
Did you think you would? Did you really? Have you ever looked at me and gone, hey, you know what I bet that guy would be great at? The guy who doesn't like to get sticky things on his hands and showers twice a day. You know what he would be good at? Going out in the woods and roughing it.
Yeah.
My idea of roughing it stayed at a Motel 6. That's the closest to roughing it I will ever come.
We'll leave the light on.
Yeah, they'll leave the light on so you can see all the fucking bed bugs running around.
Yeah, I know, right?
Alexander asked, do I eat fish? Okay, so funny, you should ask me that. One of the reasons I'm so weird about food is that I have a stomach problem, and I went through a period where all I ate was fish because it was the only protein that didn't make me feel like I was going to die. So do I eat fish? Yes. Am I very picky about fish? Yes. I don't eat salmon at all. Any of the bottom feeder catfish out. What's the one that tilapia? Off. I'll eat this table before I'll eat one of those bottom feeding little bastards. But now, like mahi, all the way in.
Yeah.
Good fish, super in.
And
Shark, shark.
And probably you'd be eating this at a coastal place. You wouldn't be eating like seafood from Asheville, North Carolina.
And Adam Black said something in the comments that chickens are not birds. Okay, they're not. They're not. I understand they have wings. I get it. Have you ever been going down the street and you go, oh shit, look at that flock of chickens? Nope. No, you have not.
Well,
not birds.
I mean, Gonzo would probably disagree. That was way above. You won't be able to understand.
I don't know what a Gonzo is.
Yeah, it's.
Didn't he used to play first base for the Red Sox?
Sesame Street. You know, you had the flying chickens and.
See, you had to make that connect for me. I was like, what the fuck?
Chuck D's talking about bison. Bison's like a derivative of cow. I'll eat that too.
Yeah.
It's like a furry cow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the weird foods that I want.
Amy said cooking for you is a blast.
It is because you don't ever have to think about it.
No, just
Cow,
chicken, pork.
chicken, pig. That's it. You don't have to go. I wonder if he'd want the bear or the goat or the coyote. No. Chicken.
You're just
pig. Bird.
You're just more adventurous in other portions of your life. You don't need to be.
Wow, winning.
You don't need to be when it comes to the kitchen.
Yeah. Well. Speaking of deers, the Bucs player played pretty well last night.
Yeah, speaking of deer, how about Milwaukee?
Oh, fear the deer. Fear the deer.
Yeah, you should. And guess what? Spicy hot take, and then we'll get into the NFL.
Yeah.
Milwaukee's going to win the series.
No, they're not. Stop it.
When in doubt, trust the mullet. Mm-hmm. They don't call me the great Flostradamus for nothing. Mm-hmm. And I told you, I told you after the first 2 games, this series is not over. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They dominated them last night. Mm-hmm. Second half was all Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. Be real honest with yourself. What's not replicable? Because you know what they found? The path to righteousness. Get DeAndre Ayton in foul trouble, and all of a sudden this team looks mortal as shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know why? Because they don't have the big guys. Guess what? That's the theory moving forward. Dario Saric blows out his knee. How many big guys they got left?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. DeAndre Ayton goes away, and now you have to try to play small. And I have a 6'10" point guard that's going to go right at everybody and shoot 17 free throws. Where is the Kevin Vick Memorial? There it is.
Yeah.
He's back from Disney Epcot.
And we can just stop with this whole Devin Booker is Kobe thing. I don't want to hear another person ever in their lifetime regurgitate that out of their mouth. I heard it. I never believed it to begin with. And
what?
The comparing Booker to Kobe, like Stephen A. Smith said, and all that stuff.
Devin Booker's very good.
He is.
He's also 24 freaking years old.
Yeah.
This is his first time on this stage.
Yeah.
Calm down. Yeah. Oh, Chuck D said, "Put your money where your mouth is." Jeremy, Suns win. You have to eat goat. All right. What do I get on the other side?
Oh, if the Bucs win?
Yeah. Because I got news for you. Short of that fucking television in front of us, there's nothing that he's going to eat that's going to be even disrupting to his daily schedule. I've watched him eat enough gas station hot dogs to know that runs in a way that most machine shops would be jealous of.
Mm-hmm. I think we should make you eat a deer.
Have you ever had Scrapple?
The fuck is Scrapple?
Fuck no.
That's Scrapple. Isn't that what happens when a bomb explodes?
That's what I'm saying.
No, the bad side would be he has to eat a goat.
No, I'm saying and if the Bucs,
if he wins,
he gets you, then you have to eat Scrapple.
What is Scrapple? Isn't that what happens when a bomb explodes?
Scrapple is a southern breakfast delicacy.
It's not a delicacy at all.
It's basically like liver mush.
Yep. With knuckles.
But he likes that.
No, he doesn't. He just
likes liver. The liver. We've talked about this before.
I like the liver mush.
Shit.
I like the liver mush, but the Scrapple is gross because it's got like gizzards in it and stuff. Ugh.
Beaks and foot.
Exactly.
It's like Burger King's chicken nuggets. Made of chicken beaks and fucking feet and shit.
No, the Milwaukee Bucks, I maintain, are not winning this series. I get that there is a path here. There is
Bucks and 7.
They have found everything that I said on Friday the Bucks needed to do. They did it. They found out, hey, guess what? If we take the ball inside, they can't stop us because we're gonna get DeAndre Ayton in foul trouble, and we play really solid defense. We just gotta close up the offensive side of the ball and gotta stop hanging back and shooting so many 3-pointers.
Who'd I tell you had to play more, and who'd I tell you had to play less?
You said Bobby Portis had to play more, and Brook Lopez had to play less.
And what happened?
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Yep.
Yeah.
But now comes the question of consistency. Do you believe that because they found success in Game 3, this is now going to continue?
Yes, I think they win every game in Milwaukee. We go to Game 7 and Phoenix tightens up.
Okay.
Because the offense for Milwaukee is more replicable than the offense for Phoenix. Mm-hmm. If you were ever a jump shooter, you know the longer series go on and the tighter you get, the less they fall. Mm-hmm. My offense is I have this big genetic fucking freak of nature that's just going to go at your big guy. Yeah. DeAndre Ayton will be in foul trouble in every game in the series.
Yeah, he should be.
Or he's going to be a sieve defensively. There's no in between.
Yeah, and they sped him up.
Because his feet are slow.
Yeah, they sped up the offense big time, and it threw Phoenix off. They tried to, with Chris Paul, they tried to slow the game down a little bit, and Milwaukee just sped him up, and they couldn't catch up. They threw Booker. Drew Holiday got into Booker's shorts. He couldn't hit nothing. And Monty Williams just said, you know what, let's just take the fourth quarter off of Booker. Let's just take him out of the game. Looked at him and said, you know, son, we're going to need you going forward. You're having a bad game, which I think was the right move. I think taking him out and, you know, just saying, hey, let's regroup. There is 2 days before the games, which also helps Milwaukee because I think it helps Giannis's knee.
I think it helps Phoenix.
Yeah.
The fact there's 2 days between this, I think helps Phoenix because if they went out and played tomorrow night, I think they'd get shellacked.
I agree with that 100%. I do. The only thing that I'm saying on the Milwaukee side is, you know, any more extra days rest for Giannis's knees is better.
He's fine.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I think he's fine.
It's crazy how fine he is, to be honest with you. So
he's a freak of nature.
Yeah, he's insane.
I'll take Bucks in 7. For anything you want.
It's changed nothing for me. I'm still on Phoenix in 5.
All right, answer me this.
Yep.
Last night, what happened last night that you don't think would happen again?
Devin Booker. That's the one thing I don't think will happen again.
I mean, I'm not saying he was good. Who for Milwaukee was just overly good? Who do you look at and go, damn, they were great? Because it was basically Giannis and a bunch of dudes.
Right.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday was very good defensively.
Yeah.
And they were good while he was on the floor. He wasn't a conduit to the offense.
Yeah.
This was give Giannis the ball, get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah. And Middleton still hasn't had a game in the series where he's showed up. I mean, if he starts to score, look out.
Here's the thing. The 2 wins for Phoenix, it took them shooting 50% from 3 in one game, and Mikal Bridges had to have 27 in the other. Those are not replicable stats. They're not.
Yeah.
Milwaukee's is. Because they figured out DeAndre Ayton's too slow to stop him at the rim. So he's either going to become a sieve or he's going to stay in foul trouble. DeAndre Ayton goes out, this team is super mortal.
Yeah. I've said this series was going to go 7. I had Phoenix winning. I'm sticking with what I said beforehand, but I'm going to see what happens game 4. I think that is going to be a real big deciding factor in what happens here.
I don't know what Scrapple is, so I'm not going to get great enjoyment out of watching him eat it, but I'm totally down for a side wagery here.
Okay.
I'm totally down.
Where the F are we going to find some goat in Asheville?
You're not going to worry about it. Fear the deer, baby.
I mean, I'm finding it hard that we have a supermarket around here that says, you know what, we got goat for you guys, come on in.
Kind of my point. Angles, low prices, love the savings. If I can't buy it there, I don't want to eat it. You know what I've never done? I've never been strolling through the meat department going, chicken, big goat. Goat's on sale.
If I can't find goat, I know I can find a rabbit. Will you substitute
Ooh,
rabbit?
Hassenpfeffer's good, dude. You ain't never had some rabbit? That's some good eating, dude. Hassenpfeffer.
Tastes like chicken.
Little bunny foo-foo hopping down the forest, picking up a field mice and getting in my stomach.
Like when they say, oh, it tastes like chicken? Yeah, rabbit tastes exactly like chicken.
Yeah, but a little bit
Maybe
tender.
a little
and a bit gamier.
A little gamey.
A little gamey.
A little gamey chicken.
But I like it. I like it a lot.
I don't know why we have to keep doing this, but we do.
But here we
Because
go.
we're fat guys and we're broke. So this is the only thing that we can do.
And I worked for a restaurant that served rabbit in Charlotte. My German restaurant I worked at served Hassenpfeffer, which is German for rabbit.
Friend. His friend. Look at little his eye freaks me out. But
Yeah, exactly. The red eye on rabbits, fuck that. That's from the devil. We can eat that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Get out.
What was that terrifying kids movie that had back in the day with the
Bunnicula.
with the bunnies?
Yeah.
No, I think it was something else. It was
All right, I'm with
The rabbit
Rob.
that would suck your blood.
terrifying.
I'm with Rob Johnson. It's time to talk football.
It's time to talk some football. All right, let's talk some football. You want to talk about UFC first? I mean, we can talk more about it on the afternoon show, but let's do this. Let's do a shorty here. UFC 264, your biggest takeaway was what, Jeremy?
Card sucked.
The card sucked.
And Donald Trump was the most popular person in the whole fucking building. The biggest pop of the entire night was Donald Trump walking out like, hi, I'm here. It was a bad card. Sean O'Malley was impressive, and the card got worse from there. And the gaping wound on, I don't remember, her last name was but I don't remember her first name, Jessica I think. That is quite possibly the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life.
Worse than
I saw
Connor
her
snapping his
skull.
leg.
Yep, don't care. I've watched a bunch of people do that. I've had that happen right beside me. I saw her skull. I was one small piece of bone away from seeing her brain.
Did you watch it?
I did.
What did you think?
It was pretty bad.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah. I felt like the Greg Hardy match was way too high in the card. I thought that was just kind of a, hey, he's somebody who's...
That was a prelim fight.
Yeah. What?
That was a prelim fight, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. O'Malley had the kid had, I can't even pronounce his name. What is his name again? Matino had 5 days, as you said earlier, to prepare for the fight with O'Malley.
His face did the greatest impersonation of a punching bag I've ever seen.
I have never seen someone bleed so much, yet not on the outside.
He just took
His head swelled up like the chick from Willy Wonka when she turned into the blueberry.
He got hit like 200 times in the head.
Yeah.
Like, that's not good.
No.
And all Twitter wanted to say is, I can't believe they stopped the fight. I can't believe they waited that long to stop the fight.
I agree.
Because I was pretty sure he was going to be brain dead by the end of it.
But if you're going to let it go that long, let the kid finish the fight. He had 30 seconds left to finish out his first UFC bout. And then they stopped the fight. No.
Save the kid's life, for God's sake.
I would really like him to be able to talk at the end of it.
And I'm not sure he's going to be able to.
But now, just summing this up, because we'll talk more about UFC on the afternoon show. The next fight for Conor is Nate Diaz, and it's not even debatable. That's the next fight.
All right.
That's still a money fight. That's the trilogy fight. That's what this fight should have been. And Dustin Poirier's a punk bitch. Period. They both are.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier came off as two douchey frat boys at the end of that fight.
Yep.
No doubt.
And it was a bad look.
There ain't no doubt about it. We'll talk more about it today on the Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene. Of course, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, 3 to 5 weekday afternoons on ESPN Asheville. Again, on the iHeartRadio app or locally 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. In the NFL, we are going down the best worst-case scenarios for every team in the NFL, and we've already done the NFC South. We did the AFC West, and now we're going to do the NFC North. It's really weird the way we're picking this. We're basically going to the reverse elimination from the playoffs last year. So we started out with the champion division with the NFC South.
Okay.
And then we went with the loser of the Super Bowl. Now we're going back to the conference championship games, which brings us around to the Green Bay Packers division.
Okay.
Best worst case scenario for the Green Bay Packers this year. Obviously, the best case scenario is the Aaron Rodgers Fuck You Tour Part 2.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers comes back, doesn't skip a beat. He has a damn near MVP level season again, and I think that's probably more than likely what's going to happen. And then they have another late exit in the playoffs.
Yeah. Best case scenario for Green Bay, don't worry. Make Aaron happy. That's all you have to do. Your derision of the Green Bay Packers is comical to me.
What do you mean?
You think there's no path of them winning a Super Bowl? You had to pick five teams as Green Bay won.
Sure.
Oh, you're waffling. Oh, just stick to your guns. You've been just gung-ho as shit about this.
You have said
repeatedly
that the Green Bay cannot win the Super Bowl.
You have said that repeatedly.
That they're not even contenders for the Super Bowl. I
didn't say that.
Yes.
100%
yes,
you
you have.
No,
yes,
I didn't.
yes, you have. I've sat right next to you and heard you say that.
100% you've said that. And frankly, if I mark the tape, I can find it. You have 100% said Green Bay's not a contender.
Okay. No, I don't think I put it that way, but I don't believe that they are a Super Bowl
Somebody
team.
in the comments, you guys watch all of the things. Put it there.
Yeah.
Because he's 100% said that.
I don't believe they are a Super Bowl team, no.
I do.
I don't. I think they're a really good team that will fall short in the playoffs like they generally always do.
I look at Green Bay as, if I had to bet a team to win their division, Green Bay's probably, if they're not one, they're very easily two. Because I don't see anybody in this division that could win it other than them.
There's even a path where this division is kind of so up in the air that even if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play, they could sneak into the playoffs, even with Jordan Love at quarterback. I honestly think that way. I think that the team.
I don't, but you don't have to. I don't think it's a thing.
I'm just saying, as a team, I think they could just turn to just running the ball and doing whatever. I think that Green Bay definitely 100% has a chance to win the Super Bowl this year and make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, there's 100% a way.
If you had to put a percentage on it, what would you put it?
I mean, a percentage of chance that they win it?
That they go to the Super Bowl. Just that they go to the Super Bowl.
I mean, I think this is kind of I don't want to say that. There's many teams I think will go to the Super Bowl. I mean, I think there's like 4 teams that can make it to the Super Bowl from the NFC. So I guess would have to say 25%.
25%.
Right? I mean, that's if we're
because I don't think it's
if we're using math.
If you told me we played the season 100 times, I'd say Tampa Bay makes it to the Super Bowl 30 times. Green Bay does 25, the Rams do 25, and the 49ers do 18. And then 2 random dipshits sneak in and they shouldn't.
The Washington Redskins.
No, the football team.
Yeah, we can't say that.
See, now you got me doing it. Hold on. You said it, and I just piggybacked, and now you got me doing racism.
I did it on purpose.
Jesus.
Hold on. So I just pulled NJ.com has the Super Bowl odds.
Yeah.
The St. Louis Cardinals are plus 4,000 to win the Super Bowl. I feel like that's a bad bet. I don't think I would make that. Yeah, they're a fucking baseball team.
What in the world is
just throwing that out there? It's on my look. St. Louis Cardinals plus 4,000.
No shit, yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah, they messed that one up.
I believe they meant the Arizona Cardinals.
Bill Collins, welcome into the conversation here.
I feel like it's a 5% chance that they make the Super Bowl. I really do. Just because they are a team that continues to get in there and they, for whatever reason, just can't get it done. It's like the New Orleans Saints. Same thing. It's not that they're a bad team. They are a really good team that falls apart when the chips are on the table. And to me, that's where the Green Bay Packers fall in. So, yes, I remember asking y'all if the championship window was closed. Because I believe it is.
I don't
believe, and Rob Johnson said it in the comments, he's been saying for a year that he never thinks Aaron Rodgers wins another Super Bowl in Green Bay. I agree.
I also think that your love for Tampa Bay does not have you thinking anybody else in the world can make the Super Bowl. But
he remembers the most recent thing he's saying.
No, I got Tampa Bay, I got the LA Rams, and I got the San Francisco 49ers. Those are the
quarterback, new quarterback, injury-prone quarterback. There is 100% a path that the Green Bay Packers wind up in the Super Bowl and win it. Because I think you are about to see a version of Aaron Rodgers on a fuck you tour that you've never seen before. Because now it's not just I've been disrespected, now it's I'm pissed.
Yeah.
And he wants to prove that he is the Green Bay Packers. Because the fan base is somewhat turned on him.
That's what I'm saying. They've kind of the turning of the fan base against Aaron Rodgers, I feel like he's blaming the front office for that, and I think he's going to go out, and I think that's going to be the motivating factor, and they're going to love him again.
The thing about Aaron Rodgers that you have to remember is that legacy has always been a thing to him. He watched what happened with Favre. I'm just telling you, he's going to, and I like some of these pieces better than, I like them. It'll come to me. The receiver they finally did draft, Amari Rodgers. I like him. There's just a lot of things that I like about this team. I think they're going to be able to score points. I like the defense. I think your derision of the Packers is misguided. If you told me right now I had to pick 3 teams from the NFC to make the Super Bowl, they're my 2.
You call it derision, I call it living in reality.
No.
They just don't get there.
No, Tampa Bay, you don't get to say living in reality. And you know why? Because we have this on our fucking board.
Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
Yeah, look at your
shirt.
Got a ring. That's last year. And that's your pewter-colored glasses catching you. It is hard to go back to the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah,
it is.
Especially when your quarterback is old enough to be my dad.
Well,
I mean, white, but close.
I was going to say.
Look,
even getting into some pants early, you know what I'm saying?
Look, if Brady was a young pimp, he could have been my dad because he's only 10 full years older than me.
He was still seems a little early.
If he was a little playground player, then just throwing this out there.
So obviously, Aaron Rodgers is their best case scenario.
Of course.
And then what do we look at for their worst case scenario? Obviously.
Oh, it's real easy.
Yeah.
Who is Jordan Love?
Yeah. Jeopardy called, and you're stuck with Jordan Love. And
by the way, this is not going to happen.
No, of course.
I'm not talking about Aaron not playing. I'm talking about what if something happens to Aaron. Oh. Worst case scenario is injury, hold out, whatever. I don't think he's going to hold out. I don't think it's going to be a problem.
I don't either.
Worst case scenario is what if he's not your quarterback for 17 games? Because Jordan Love is bad. I've talked to beat writers that have watched it. Decision making is slow, just like I said when I watched the film on him out of Utah State. That is the worst case scenario. If Aaron Rodgers plays, there's no way they don't win 12 games. There's no way they don't win a game in the playoffs.
Agreed.
There's no way they are not one of the last 4 teams left in the NFC.
Agreed.
No shot. If Aaron Rodgers plays 17 games. Conversely, I heard one of you say you think they could be a borderline playoff team with Jordan Love.
Well, that was with an idea of that Aaron plays games, gets hurt, and I think that the Green Bay Packers team is better than we think it is without Aaron Rodgers, because I think there's a path to where they just change what they do. I think they can
run a lot.
They can run the ball a lot. That's what I'm saying. I think that the team is good enough to, and in that division too, you know what I mean? I think they could still win some games with Jordan Love. I'm not saying if Jordan Love's going with them they make the playoffs and he's the quarterback in the playoffs, that I think they can do anything. I'm saying I think the team is good enough to ride the ship if Aaron Rodgers misses a couple games where they can still kind of make the playoffs. That's kind of where I'm going with it. If he's the quarterback 17 games of the season, they're going to be probably a 6 or 7 win team.
I could see them being a borderline playoff team without him. I mean, limit the damage that Jordan Love can do to you. Lean on Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. I don't know about that offensive line. Jeremy, you're the offensive line guy. Do you think the offensive line can block well enough to make this a heavy run offense?
I like the left side. It's the right side that scares me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bakhtiari and Jenkins on the left side I like a lot.
Yeah.
Billy Turner is there's good, there's bad.
Right.
And it's hard to replace an all-pro
I look
center.
at this team. If you told me Jordan Love was the quarterback of this team, again, I can't emphasize this enough. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't see how they win more than 5 games. That's how big of. Who do they beat? Look at the schedule.
Okay. All right.
Look at the schedule.
Okay.
At New Orleans, first game of his life, no shot. Beat Detroit, then you play San Francisco, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, you'd win that one. At Chicago, Washington football team, at Arizona, at Kansas City, Seattle, Minnesota, LA Rams. Who the fuck do they beat?
Yeah, that'd be rough.
Yeah.
I mean, they would be 2-10 going into the bye.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd have some close games in there, but yeah, they probably wouldn't win many of those.
Let's move away from hypothetical bullshit that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, I think, is Aaron plays. We'll say there's an era of contention in Green Bay. And things get sideways with him and LaFleur, and they have to make a decision at the end of the year. And Aaron Rodgers would lose that.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe that. And I think that very well could happen. I think Aaron Rodgers could be looking at this going, this is the farewell tour for Green Bay.
This is what I think when people are misguided of what they're talking about, Aaron Rodgers not playing another down for Green Bay. I don't think that's the fact. I think what they need to be saying, this is the last year that he's going to be a Green Bay Packer regardless. I think that there's no way the Green Bay Packers will want to go, and especially if happens like what you say, and they don't even make it to the Super Bowl. If they win the Super Bowl, it's going to be hard to do that.
That's kind of my point.
doubt.
Yeah, but
that's my point with Aaron Rodgers. I think he knows the only way that I don't get a one-way ticket out of town at the end of the year is I win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Then you can't get rid of me.
Yeah.
Then I'm a hero in Green Bay. Now the whole fan base is on my side because I brought you a ring.
Right.
And then they can be as insufferable as he has been for the last 7 months.
Right.
And you can't get rid of it. And I think he knows that.
And then I think anything short of a Super Bowl ring is going to be Aaron's last year. And it would be wise, I think, if he wants out of there, Aaron Rodgers has a really good year, another fuck you tour MVP year, and he doesn't win the Super Bowl, you still probably can get something in return for him. I don't think you're going to get anything right now. That's the problem. There wasn't a market because I don't think anybody would actually they're not going to get rid of him. But I think going into next year, I think once they see the market, there will be a team that is a quarterback away from winning a Super Bowl, kind of like a Tampa Bay was a couple years ago, and they're going to go. That's the team that will go to Aaron Rodgers.
If Aaron Rodgers plays, worst case scenario, maybe they have a few more controversial field goal calls at the end of close games. 10 wins. That's the absolute worst case. With everybody playing.
With Aaron, worst case scenario, I'd say 11-6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jason Trump said in the comments, "I think Green Bay wants to be over this drama, and they don't know how to do it." I'm going to give you an analogy because I really like analogies. This has become like a shitty marriage, but you have kids and houses and businesses and all of these things that are intertwined, and it would be way more expensive for you to move on than it would be to just fucking deal with it.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, the good's still good. The bad is we throw plates at each other and the neighbors call the cops. That's where the Packers are. However, there is one thing that can always mend a broken heart, and that's money. And maybe that's the old school red as hell Republican capitalist in me. And you know what money is in the NFL? Winning.
Yeah.
They go to a Super Bowl, guess what? Everybody's all hunky-dunky at the end of this year. And Gutekunst and Rodgers and LaFleur, and they'll all be on a float and holding hands and, woo, go back, go!
Drinking
Aaron Rodgers
blue ribbon and just pounding.
And Aaron Rodgers knows that. And that's why I won't be shocked in any way if the Green Bay Packers win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The one move that you could make right now to make this team better.
Go get a fucking receiver. Any. I don't care who it is.
Yep.
Not Devin Funchess.
Oh, God. He's so bad.
Because I like Amari Rodgers. I like him as a 4. The Lazard King is a headache. Marquez Valdez-Scantling he's like knowing shit about the Clintons. You just know it's not going to work. It's going to end bad. If you count on it, it's going to end bad.
Yeah.
The question is, who could you go get? I thought they should have been contenders on Julio Jones. I know the money. I get it.
Right.
I still would have found a way. Because you need the dude on the opposite side of the ball.
I think that could have mended a lot of fences. I think if they could have got Julio Jones, I think that would have guaranteed, even though I already believe that he's playing, I think it would have guaranteed him to be there.
The problem for them is I don't think that guy's out there.
Well, let's take a look.
Golden Tate, he's about the best name.
Golden Tate's going to end up in the AFC South. I can't tell you with what team, but he's going to end up in the AFC South.
I've heard Indianapolis a lot.
It's either going to be the Colts or it's going to be the Tennessee Titans.
There's nobody to go out and get, I don't think.
Kenny Stills is still available. He's not awesome.
I'll roll with what I got.
I would have Kenny Stills over Devin Funchess any day of the week. That's at least somebody's name.
But so obviously Devontae Adams is the 1. Alan Lazard's the 2. You just stopped me when you would slot in Kenny Stills.
Now.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling?
Now.
Before.
Yes.
Okay.
By the way, the answer is Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah.
You take take cheap flyer on a big guy that big possession receiver. That's the answer. It's been the answer for a long time. Problem is, Alshon Jeffrey's knee is in about the same shape as
Conor
a
McGregor's
napkin after. I was going to say a napkin after a buffet run from Tank, but just shambles.
Man, I want to eat a buffet now. Should we go to a buffet? Let's take off the afternoon and go for a buffet for lunch, guys.
I've got a lot to do.
Yeah, I don't feel like taking a 4-hour nap between shows.
Damn it!
I've got a lot to do today.
My one move for this team is to beef up your interior linebacking core. It's the only real hole, I think, on the defense. I think everything else is fine, but to me, I don't know. Could you slot?
See, I feel like you already did that with Devondre Campbell.
Yeah.
You took the high upside flyer on a guy. I don't know where you're going to go with that. Because you got to find a guy that plays in a 3-4. I mean,
right.
Hey, you know what? If the Jets are willing to come off C.J. Mosley, more power to them. Go get him.
I was thinking Avery Williamson. Avery Williamson with this defense, I feel like that could make them a little better.
I like Avery Williamson. He's not an every down player.
Yeah.
He's not. I mean, it's fine. To me, it's putting lipstick on a pig. But that's, I would rather just roll with what I got.
Quan Alexander. But he's
I never liked him in a 3-4.
kind of gassed.
I just never liked him in the 3-4. You know, I feel like he was one of those guys that could throw up tackles, and I felt like if you watched the games, you saw that there were massive deficiencies in the game.
Yeah.
Over the course of the last year.
To me, it's a really good team. It's not a whole lot of places to add, except for wide receiver, maybe inside linebacker, defensive tackle. Maybe you get another lineman on the defensive side. Other than that, I like the team. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be fine. I just don't think it's going to be a championship run. Well, because it doesn't, it hasn't happened in 10 years now.
I know.
And they get so close and never finish the job. We are live in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings. This was probably one of the hardest teams that I had. It's coming up with the best case, worst case scenario, because I think they are what they are, and I don't know that there's a lot of improvements that you can really make to this team. The Minnesota Vikings, I'm coming around to, I think they are the NFC version of what I think the Denver Broncos are in the AFC. They got a roster that I really like. Pretty much every position. Could you upgrade in places? Sure. If money wasn't an object and we could run out and get anybody we wanted to, sure. You can improve this roster. But for the most part, Kirk Cousins is the guy that it all hinges on.
Yeah.
And if Kirk Cousins can find another gear for 2021, I think this could be a playoff team. Sneaky playoff team.
Look, I've said Dalvin Cook's my number 101 in fantasy football this year.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of running the ball. I like Alexander Madison. Having Jefferson and Adam Thielen, who apparently people think is dead because I keep doing mock drafts and he winds up in the 7th round, which is stupid. I just look at this Minnesota team, and the thing that bothers me is I don't know how good this defense is going to be. And I'm afraid you're going to be bringing a knife to a gunfight quite often with Kirk Cousins. I look at the best case scenario, and it's score early and score often.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have to. A lot of people seem to be putting a lot of credence into the defense with, Mike Zimmer will figure it out. And with Danielle Hunter coming back, I just don't look. I like them in the middle. I like Pierce and Dalvin Tomlinson. I think they're going to be fine against the run. I just look at the possible issues with Gladney, legal issues. You've just brought in a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
And I don't know that outside of Danielle Hunter you have anybody that's going to get after the passer in a way that's going to keep the heat off those guys. I like Patrick Peterson. He's more named now than he is talent.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he's not as good as the name says he is.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody on this defense is cast about one spot too high. I like Peterson as a 2. I like Cameron Dantzler as a 3. I like Rashad Breeland as a depth guy. Gladney is a guy that I like the talent. I'm just not sure he's going to play because he's going to be in some significant legal kerfuffle.
Right.
I think this is a team that could surprise you and be better than people think they are.
I 100%.
But Kirk Cousins has to be the conduit to the change because he has to be good Kirk. I think you can't have bad Kirk and this team not go 8-9.
What they had last year, was that good Kirk, bad Kirk, or was it just Kirk? Because I think it was just Kirk. Stretching on the side of good Kirk.
It's hard to say. So here's why. What I believe is because it's so stringent on the defense that they were behind a lot of games last year where they had to throw a lot more than I think their game plan wanted to be. So I think, just remember, Kevin Stefanski from here, his idea, and it's still that kind of offense. They want to just run the ball. And what happened was the defense was so bad last year, they ended up having to be down. They were down more games than they wanted to, so they got away from what they wanted to do. And that's why I think Kirk Cousins and the defense are so intertwined. I think what you get from Kirk Cousins are going to be intertwined with how good the defense is going to be. Because I think if you could just hand the ball off a bunch of times and you don't ask Kirk to throw the ball 30 to 35 times a game, and you're looking at more of that 20 to 25 points a game and just don't turn the ball over, I think he can have a better year. So I think it's so dependent on what the defense is going to be to see what we're going to have with Kirk. If that makes, I know that was a lot of talking in circles, but I think it makes a lot of sense.
And Kirk Cousins is just one of those guys that, I feel like he's at the top of the mediocre tier of quarterbacks in the NFL.
He's an empty stat guy. I've always said it about Kirk Cousins.
4,500 yards a year and
He's an
35
empty stat
touchdowns. He's going to throw more picks than you like, but he's just going to, he's like Carson Palmer.
Yeah, it's not a terrible comparison.
And like Carson Palmer.
He's an empty stat guy to me. The thing for me with Cousins is that he has to be what he was last year. 3-to-1 interception guy.
Yeah.
You have to not turn the ball over. Because like I said, I think you're going to be able to run the ball. I think the defense is going to be better. I just look at it and go, I don't see how you're better than Green Bay.
No.
I don't. So you're fighting for a wild card spot, and you're fighting for a wild card spot with a schedule that consists of, I mean, you got to understand, so the 6 games before the bye, you start with Cincinnati, which will be a win. Then you get Arizona, Seattle, Cleveland, and Detroit, and then at Carolina. You could be 2-4 going into the bye.
Right.
Then you have an early bye week, and there's a lot of Dallas and Baltimore and the Chargers and the 49ers and the Steelers and the Rams. It's just really daunting, and there's a lot of really good offenses here. And that's kind of leads into, they don't like that. Yeah. That's the worst case scenario.
Yeah. The worst case scenario is that Kirk Cousins is bad.
And you got to kind of frame what bad is. Bad Kirk Cousins.
Bad is like 20 interceptions Kirk Cousins.
And he's never been that.
Yeah.
In his career, he's never been that.
Yeah.
So to me, that's not the bad Kirk Cousins. Where I fall into the bad Kirk Cousins is like 2017, 2018, where he was just a dude. He threw for 4,000 yards. There were a lot of bad decisions. There were a copious amount of potential turnovers. The interception rate's not stupidly high, but the potential interception rate was stupidly high. And if that goes the wrong way, then you could be bad Kirk. And I feel he's going to be asked to do a lot because you do have to play so many of these high-end offenses. You got to play Green Bay twice. You got to play Pittsburgh, who I think still maintain is going to be way better than people think they are. The Rams, the 49ers, which is going to be a difficult offense to stop. The Cowboys, the Ravens. I'm afraid you're going to get into a lot of just shootout type games. And I'm afraid that it's a lot of Dak Kirk. Okay, I win. I get Dak. Lamar Kirk. Okay, I win. I get Lamar. Stafford Kirk. I mean, be really honest with yourself. Look at the schedule. How many of these games do you definitively know the team they're playing has a better quarterback? I count 11.
Yeah, that's the thing.
11 of your 17 games, I know they have a better quarterback than you do. That didn't include Joe Burrow, who I think is better. I'm just scared to death of the line.
No, I mean, it was about a month ago when we were doing a lot of the draft stuff and we were talking about quarterbacks who could play. You had mentioned that you think there is a path to where the Vikings would see Kellen Mond at quarterback this year.
Depends on how good he is.
Do you still think he's got a path to that?
If they start 2-4 and Kellen Mond has been just lighting things up, and here's the thing: you got to be real careful with training camp. Training camp, everybody, all these reporters we have to fill content, and so there's a lot of hype. Kellen Mond hasn't been the rookie that I've heard nothing but glowing shit about. So, do I think there's a path to it? Yes, it's most likely an injury.
Yeah.
I don't think Kirk can be so bad that they go to a rookie. Unless they're sitting at, just
like you just said, 2-4 going into the bye week.
Yeah, I don't even know that that's enough.
Yeah.
I don't even know that that's enough. Yeah. I think they would have to go.
Start like 0-6.
I think you'd have to be 2-9 going into Detroit. Week of Thanksgiving, you play San Francisco.
Where you're so bad you don't have any shot. We're just going to go ahead and reset and just go with it.
To me, you have to start 2-4. Then you lose Dallas, Baltimore, Chargers, Packers, San Francisco, and you look at it and go, you know what? We got a Detroit game here that's winnable. We got 2 of Chicago that are winnable. Can we build some momentum going into the offseason and see what we have in Kellen Mond?
Yeah.
Because then Kirk Cousins is not coming back, and he's probably the next quarterback of the Denver Broncos.
Armchair Commentary asks, do the Vikings need to consider either going all in or an all-out rebuild?
All-out rebuild is a no. They've got too many good pieces.
Right. I don't think
and
this
they had
team is
such
really
a good draft. We talked about it.
They're stuck in a position where I don't. What would be going all in? Getting rid of Kirk Cousins and going after a quarterback? Okay. If that's what we're talking about, to me, that's the only thing that you can massively upgrade right now to go all in. I mean, you've got the receivers, you've got the running back, you've got an offensive line that I think is going to be ungodly. I mean, when everybody develops. Obviously, the Christian Darrisaw thing, just getting him in the draft this year, that's a question mark for some people of how good is he going to be. I like all of the pieces that they have. They have young players. They killed the NFL draft.
In the last couple of years, they've done well.
Absolutely hit a home run in the draft this past year and year before that as well. I don't know that this is a team that has the option of doing either. And that's the problem. Like, you are what you are. And unless you can find a superstar quarterback out there somewhere, I mean, the Green Bay Packers are never going to let Aaron Rodgers end up in Minnesota after the Brett Favre thing.
Yeah.
That'll never happen.
And I feel like we're in that position where Jeremy talks about a lot. They're in that weird no-win situation. But to me, I just feel like I'd rather just cut after this year, if barring a deep run in the playoffs, I would just cut ties with Kirk Cousins and go no matter what, because he's not going to win you a Super Bowl. So let's try to find somebody.
And you have so much good young talent.
Yeah, whether it be Keelan Mond or somebody else. I just think at this point, you know what Kirk Cousins is. You can't win a Super Bowl with him, so why not just cut it and go? And I think so. This might be the last year we see Kirk Cousins play for Minnesota, regardless. Even if I could see them even making the playoffs as a wild card, losing the first round.
I got news for you. The only way Kirk Cousins is not there is if they found a trade partner. Because cutting him is absolutely not an option.
Right.
Because all of the money guarantees upon cutting him.
After this year still?
Yes.
Okay.
$45 million dead cap hit. That's not going to happen. But
I think
if you find somebody that's willing to if he's willing to restructure the deal to get another shot as a starter, if this season doesn't go well, I've always said it to Denver. I think there was discussion of that before the year. Denver wouldn't eat the money. That's why they didn't take Justin Fields, because they wanted to find that stopgap guy, because Denver thinks they're so good that they just need somebody like Kirk Cousins that can come in and throw. I can tell you those discussions happened. The discussion of Kirk Cousins to Denver happened. I promise you that. I would bet my reputation on it. They couldn't make the money work.
Yeah.
So Minnesota, at the end of the day, was ready to move on.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said it that way. They were willing to move on. I'm not going to say they were ready. If they could get out from underneath the money, draft the quarterback, do the things, and I think that would have put Justin Fields in Minnesota, and that's where all of that discussion came from.
Yeah.
The money never got worked out with Denver, because they weren't willing to eat as much of it as they needed to.
if you're looking next year at a quarterback swap or a possible quarterback swap, Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins, flip those two. Does Minnesota feel better with Matt Ryan than they do with Kirk Cousins?
No.
I wouldn't think so either. With another year under Matt Ryan's belt, reaching the end of his career.
Here's the other thing
I
that
don't know
nobody
that I
wanted to
see
talk
that.
about. Minnesota's smarter than Chicago is. Sorry, Bears fans. I'm sorry to hurt your fucking feelings. You don't take quarterbacks when a coaching staff's on their way out. And I'll be honest with you, I've warmed to Justin Fields. I have not warmed to Matt Nagy at all.
Yeah.
So Minnesota, Mike Zimmer's in more trouble than people think he is. If this goes super sideways.
100%.
I mean, and it would have to go, I think, aggressively bad. I don't think 8-9 is going to do it.
No.
I think it would have to be
5-12, 6-13.
But that path is there.
6-11.
That path is there because the schedule's so unbelievably good.
Agreed. And if this goes sideways and, Minnesota gets skull fucked by their quarterback.
He had to get that in there. He was so happy when he came
I wanted to put it on the bottom, and Jeremy said, you can't do that.
I mean, you could.
Fine.
You could if you don't want to monetize anything. They
YouTube's
don't like
got
the
rules.
word fucked being written on the screen real big.
And I said, so blur it out. And apparently he said that still matters.
Yeah,
if you blur out obscenities, they still hit you. So, anywho, I think that's, there's an absolute path for Minnesota just to be god-awful, and they win 5 games.
Yep.
Armchair go either way.
Armchair in the comments said, are they not in that super uncomfortable place of just being mediocre? Yes.
Yeah.
That's a bad thing. If you, I'll give you an example, and I'm not saying I think this would happen, but I'm saying just take the journey with me.
Okay.
If Deshaun Watson was the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings, they're a Super Bowl contender.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
I'm in.
That's how much a quarterback matters. This is a team that none of us really think is going to make the playoffs. If they do, they're going to be the last team in, and they're going to be fodder for Green Bay or one of these hellacious top end of the NFC teams.
Yeah.
Had Deshaun Watson, you could convince me that you would win the Super Bowl. That's how good this team is.
Yeah.
Because you have 2 legitimate wide receivers. To me, you have the best running back in the NFL, and you have just a shit ton of talent on the line.
Yeah.
The defense doesn't have to be great. It has to be better than it was last year.
Yeah.
You couldn't breathe on a quarterback last year.
Right.
Danielle Hunter is going to fix that. I don't think he completely fixes it, but he's certainly going to help.
What's the one move? The one move they can make to get better? I think it's a third receiver. I think, once you get past Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson, you got Olabisi Johnson and Chad Beebe.
I just don't think they necessarily need one because I think their running back could be their third wide receiver. And I also think that Irv Smith, which people have talked about it, like Jeremy said, he was waiting for them to unwrap him, but they've also kind of said he's going to still be the Kyle Rudolph, which kind of sent him down a little bit.
Yep.
But I think that's why I would say they don't necessarily need him because they have the running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield, and they have a serviceable, above-average tight end. So the third wide receiver isn't too much of a concern for me.
I just think they're going to play a lot of 12 personnel.
Yeah, and I think maybe what they need to do is if they can get somebody
on the edge.
On the
Everson
edge,
Griffin.
yeah.
That's the one. That was mine.
To go back there.
You reunite with Everson. I know things didn't end well and all that bullshit, but that's the move. To me.
Mm-hmm.
You do need another pass rusher.
Yeah.
Somebody can get after the quarterback, and that would
on the other side of Daniil Hunter because he's going to get double teamed constantly.
Right. Is he the only one that's out there, though?
No, I mean, there's guys, but none of them are. Everson Griffin is the only one that's a scheme fit. Justin Hunter's better standing up. Melvin Ingram's better standing up. There's another.
Olivier Vernon. Justin Houston.
Is that not what I said?
Did you say Justin Houston?
Justin Houston.
Sorry.
I didn't hear it, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
If that's not who I said, that's who I meant, and now I don't know what name I said. I could have said Justin Bieber. I'm not really fucking sure. But I meant Justin Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah, edge rusher, and I still think a third receiver is something that you should at least entertain.
Yeah, I'm fine. But I'm fine with Obie Johnson as the 3.
But I just
don't think that guy's going to be asked to do that much because I like Irv Smith so much. And I understand they've said his role's not going to increase. That's bullshit. The more the more I think about this, the more that's bullshit because I don't know how it couldn't. Because I don't know who in the hell else you think you're going to trot out there at tight end in those 2 tight end sets.
Yeah. Right.
Tyler Conklin, bullshit. Piss on my leg, but I'm going to ask you why it's warm.
Right. It could go. There's a vast array of way things could go for the Minnesota Vikings this year, but I think there is a chance that they could be that sneaky team that we're coming up to the end of the year and thinking, holy crap, they've actually got a shot. Much more so than we were last year.
Got a shot at making the playoffs.
Yes. They've got a shot at making the playoffs.
Yeah.
There's no chance that they're a championship team. Support for the Sportsocracy is brought to you by fine folks at Manscaped. Manscaped offers the precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They have engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and an incredibly comfortable grooming experience. The 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0, which you can get today with 20% off by using our promo code Sportsocracy at manscaped.com. Get you 20% off of your purchase and free worldwide shipping. It's got the cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce those accidents when it comes time to do your hedge trimming. The advanced skin-safe technology definitely does make me more confident when it comes time for me time in the bathroom.
Very happy to announce that Manscaped will be sponsoring our first fantasy football league in the Sportsocracy. Also happy to announce that they're your best care for balls. Their league will be a best ball league.
Nice.
Best ball.
Best ball Manscaped Fantasy Football League. What up?
Yeah, exactly.
You can only imagine where that's going to go.
And you can only get your best balls by using Manscaped. You know? Lawnmower 4.0. Really get your balls looking the best that they are.
Always does the trick for your meat stick.
Absolutely. So the Manscaped League will be a best ball tournament because that just only makes sense.
We didn't think of that until it was pointed out to us, and we went, wait.
That's right.
Plus, we need to do a best ball draft for because we haven't done one of those yet. There's a lot of fantasy football content coming very, very, very soon.
So for the best balls, get Manscaped. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get the exclusive offer from us to you and Manscaped as well. Manscaped.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy. 20% off of your full purchase and free worldwide shipping. Your balls will thank you. Let's talk about the Detroit Lions. No, Chicago Bears. You want to talk about the Chicago Bears next?
The Chicago Bears.
Let's talk about the Chicago Bears.
Bears.
Best worst case scenario this year for the Chicago Bears.
Oh boy.
Look, they are on the hot seat. At the front of this team, Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace, it has not gone well, and they really, really have to hope that they hit a home run picking Justin Fields in the first round of this draft. Maybe that gives us a little bit more security of we may not have a great year this year, but you really shouldn't fire us because we made some strides. We had the onset of, the breakthrough, I guess, of David Montgomery at the end of last year. Of course, that was against a lot of the worst defenses in the league. So you could pump the brakes on the whole David Montgomery
bullshit.
And also with the Trubisky at quarterback, who was more prone to RPOs and all kinds of different stuff.
Here's the thing. For the Chicago Bears,
best case scenario.
I've always said certain people make the good girls go bad. Chicago Bears need to make the good teams look bad. Defensively, you better be real motherfucking good.
Yeah.
Because I feel like no matter what you do, you're going to have a quarterback. If you go Andy Dalton, your range of outcomes is your floor is probably higher, your ceiling is much lower. If you go Justin Fields, your ceiling is higher, but the floor is the floor. Like through the floor. like through the concrete.
Like digging to China kind of thing.
Not good.
Yeah.
Rob Johnson asked, is there still going to be a Patreon league? Yes, there is. And that one's going to be, we have something special planned for that one. We have a sponsor for that one that they really like taking their time responding. That's one of the biggest problems is that I do almost all of our interactions through email. So it's not like I can just call and go, hey, let's do this, because I don't have a fucking phone number. But yes.
Yes, there will be. If they go with Andy Dalton, I think they've done it wrong. To me, it's Justin Fields, and you see what you have.
Justin Fields buys you to the end of the year.
Yeah.
A lot of Bears fans say, "Oh, we don't ever fire coaches in season." Okay, start Andy Dalton. Watch what happens going into the bye week. You start 3-5 going into the bye week that way. Yeah, I'll remind you that week 9 when Matt Nagy's giving his bye-bye press conference.
Yeah.
Because he was with his hat in his hand going, well, it didn't work.
Yeah. I
think they could do much more offensively if Justin Fields is the quarterback.
And that's the thing. You're talking about a guy who's supposed to be this offensive guru that makes all these things with Matt Nagy. I just don't see how there's such different quarterbacks that they're completely different offensive game plans. That if you don't just put it all in on Justin Fields, you're kind of you just don't you know where I'm going with this. Like you have to practice one way or another. Like if you're going to go in all Justin Fields, you need to build the offense around him. And if you're going into the season thinking you're going to have Andy Dalton number 1, that means he's not going to get any reps because that's not kind of offense that you're going to run with him. And I think it's going to screw him.
I agree partially with what you said.
Yeah.
Justin Fields is going to get reps regardless. That's my problem. It would be real easy to just put Andy Dalton to be the backup if anything goes wrong.
Right.
Not saying you would ever bench Justin Fields because you won't. But I do think it makes all the sense in the world to go in with Fields as a starter. I don't understand not going in with him as a starter.
It really kind of defies what I think about. It's not like you have it's not like you had Mitchell Trubisky there and Justin Fields is behind him and you can kind of run a very similar offense to him.
And here's the thing. I think the defense is really good.
I'm afraid that the releasing Kyle Fuller is going to have more of a different effect on it than it will.
Because I think Jalen Johnson's that dude.
Oh, okay.
I do. I think Jalen Johnson's that dude. He could have been Rookie of the Year last year.
And that's probably why they were
because the way the Bears play defense, yes, they play a nickel, but last year it was Buster fucking Screen.
Yeah.
As somebody that watched him with the Jets, there's a gray patch in the back of my head that I call the Buster Screen Memorial Patch of Gray Sadness.
Right.
Yeah.
So the combo of Artie Burns and Desmond Trufant, who I do like Trufant as the two here.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be fine. And I think the defense will be good enough. The question is, can Justin, like I said, your range of outcomes is so low with Andy Dalton that then it's game manager and we have to try to grind out 13 to 10 wins and bullshit like that. Fuck that. Your defense is good enough to cover the errors of a rookie quarterback. Justin Fields from week 1, no doubt. And now I have warmed to Justin Fields. There will be growing pains, and I think it will ultimately get Matt Nagy. But if you see a growth with Fields and towards the end of the year this team looks right, I could see Nagy getting another year.
No, there is one problem with this team that I think that could hurt them in the Justin Fields category, but we'll get into that when we get into the one move to make this team better. Let's talk about worst case scenario first. Worst case scenario for the Chicago Bears.
Nagying issues remain.
You got the same problems with the head coaching staff. It doesn't look like it's kind of like a rudderless organization right now. They don't know which way they're leaning. They know that the defensive side of the ball is good, but we don't know quite what we're doing on offense. And the whole problem with this Andy Dalton, feeling like you're pressured, and I don't know that this is the case, but it's the way everybody makes it feel, is that they're pressured to play Andy Dalton because of the 1 year, $10 million contract they gave him. And because of the $20 million that they have in Nick Foles. I don't give a fuck. When you have the dude on your roster who's going to be the future, I don't give a shit what you're paying his backup.
The money's irrelevant.
Right.
That's not the problem. The problem is, does Matt Nagy consider Andy Dalton to be the best chance to save his job? If he does, I think it's misguided. I'm going to level. I'm the draft guy.
Yeah.
So there are certain guys that I just fall in love with year over year. Khalil Herbert's one of those guys. Here's the path to righteousness for the Bears. And I understand we're talking about worst case scenario, and I'm leading into that.
Okay.
The best case scenario is you run Justin Fields. You trot Justin Fields out there with the intention of David Montgomery, Tarek Cohen, Damian Williams, and Khalil Herbert being – this line's markedly better. I like Tevin Jenkins. I like Cody Whitehair. I like James Daniels. Get out of Iowa they took a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I see a path of this being a good running team. And you having Allen Robinson on the outside, who's a good blocker for one, and he's a very good receiver for two. But you've got Darnell Mooney and Anthony Miller and Marquise Goodwin and Damiere Byrd. All these guys are guys that can hurt you deep. So you can take the tops off of defense, but you can't have that with Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton doesn't have an arm that scares you. So they're going to load the box up and go, do your worst, Andy.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really scared of any of these guys. But if you put them one-on-one, I can get into mismatches and I can do things like that. That's the best case scenario, in my opinion. The worst case scenario is you roll with Andy Dalton. And you have a defense that sees a shitload of 7 in the box.
Yeah.
Because there's only one guy that scares you. So you double Allen Robinson, you deal with Cole Kmet, and you start off with the the Rams, the Browns, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, San Francisco, and Pittsburgh. That's 6 of your first 9 games. 4 of those are on the road. 4 of those are on the road. It could go very bad in a hurry.
Very fast.
And so to me, my fear is that you go in with Andy Dalton and a lot of the things, and Andy Dalton turns into a less turnover-prone, less athletic version of Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles. And it looks exactly like it's looked, and going into the bye week, he's LMNO fired.
And that's what Matt Nagy's done.
And Nagy's gone.
He didn't want Trubisky to begin with because he didn't want that. He thinks he could be doing the same exact thing they did with Trubisky, what they're going to do with Fields, even though I think Fields is a much better option than Trubisky is. But I can see him he seems like one of these guys that I'd rather have a veteran that I know can run my offense than leaning towards going towards a young guy. And it's gotten him in trouble year after year after year. And I think this is finally going to be his downfall because I think he thinks he's smarter than everybody in the room. And I think I honestly believe he's going to start Andy Dalton and it's going to be his downfall. And guess what, Chicago Bears fans? They will fire someone halfway through the season and it will be him.
I don't know about firing anybody before the season before the season is over, I should have said. But I do kind of believe that if they're not knocking on the door of the playoffs, regardless of what happens, they're gone. They're not going to allow them to do that. Again.
Because that's what they've done.
Right. They're not going to allow them to turn this into a Mitch Trubisky situation. If the Chicago front office is smart, they will not continue this experiment past this year unless Justin Fields comes out, they rejuvenate the offense, they re-envision the offense. And it's a high-flying kind of offense. You got the defense to be able to maintain against the better offenses in the league. It's the only way that, you got to put up offensive numbers to be able to keep your job.
Right.
There's got to be growth. They may not make the play. They probably won't make the playoffs. I get that. But I think there is a path where maybe the team looks good enough on the field to where even not making the playoffs will save their jobs if they believe that they are on the right path.
If they're growing. That's the most important. Jason Trump said in the comments, do you play Dalton for 3 to 4 games and let Fields take over?
No.
The problem is there's not a sweet spot in the schedule.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to play 2 bad teams in a row. Yeah, you can trot him out there against, let's say you trot him out there against Detroit. You're in Vegas the next week. Then you go Green Bay, Tampa Bay, San Francisco, Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. Gross.
And I just think that.
And if you put him in at the bye week, first game's against Baltimore.
Yeah.
Week 1, if you start him week 1, yes, you do have to start with you get the Browns and the Rams in 2 of your first 3 games. Mm-hmm. You also get Cincinnati, Detroit, and Vegas.
Yeah. And you also have a whole offseason of him being the number 1 guy in camp.
Getting the reps.
And getting everything. And
that, I think, to me, is the path. Yeah. I'm not taking a quarterback, especially not trading up for a quarterback, that I'm going to sit behind Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
To me, that's the worst-case scenario. And is it Justin Fields only sees the field for 5 games this year, and next year we're doing the exact same thing with the Chicago Bears that we're doing with the Miami Dolphins right now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I saw a limited amount of a quarterback. Things didn't go exactly how I wanted it to. There were growing pains with the rookie. Is this the guy?
Yeah.
And if you just this is the guy.
Yep.
Just this is the guy.
And I've just seen this happen. I mean, the Bears have had Rex Grossmans and Kyle Ortons and all these guys, and it seems like in the fan base has gotten behind Justin Fields. They're excited about Justin Fields, and I feel like it's just stop doing what you've done and do something different, and it might get a different result. I mean, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same results, and I feel like that's what the Chicago Bears have done for the last 10 years.
Yeah. I lost the comment in the comment section here, but somebody said they're taking a late round flyer basically on Justin Fields in their drafts. Yes. Do it.
I agree.
Because the upside is so big. I mean, if he can come in and stay healthy and they do re-envision the offense, he's going to be a great piece. And, oh, by the way, I just got him in the Scott Fish Bowl Best Ball League.
Yeah.
I feel pretty damn good about that. But
I think he's going to be like a Jalen Hurts in fantasy, where he's going to be a good fantasy quarterback, not necessarily a good quarterback.
I think he's going to be a better I'm not saying I've completely warmed to Fields because there are deficiencies. I think if done the right way.
Yeah.
I don't hate the fit in Chicago as much now as I did. Mm-hmm. I still don't love the Nagy thing. I still don't love the uncertainty and all that shit.
The one thing you could do to make this team better, for me, it's the offensive line. You got to figure out, you got to make the offensive line a little bit better. Yeah. You're going to be happy with Jermaine Ifedi on the right side?
Yeah. He's a right tackle. Mm-hmm. In an offense where you're going to have Cole Kmet off the line a lot. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Nah.
My move, sign Allen fucking Robinson. Extend the motherfucker. Because he's the only receiver on this team that scares anybody. Mm-hmm. Set your rookie up for success, not failure.
Yeah.
I like the left side of this line. From Cody Whitehair left, I like it. Ifedi, is he some stalwart of offensive line play? No. Is he the worst right tackle in the league? No. I'm fine with all of that. Mm-hmm. It's lock up Allen Robinson and do it immediately.
Yeah.
Can you convince him to do that, though?
Having Justin Fields is not going to hurt. This is a hell of a lot better than catching passes from Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles.
I agree. But I also, is that a situation where he's going to have Chicago by the short and curlies and he's going to get everything he wants?
Maybe, and he deserves it.
Yeah.
But then are they damaging themselves by doing that?
No. He's 27 friggin' years old. Mm-hmm. This is the dude. Pay the dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. Roll with it.
Yep.
I think improving the offensive line should be a better thing because that's one of the things that Justin Fields did struggle with in college.
Yeah.
Was when he was getting steady pressure, he would
here's
fold
the question,
like a lawn
how are you going to do that? The question is, who are you going to go sign that's in any form of improvement?
Yeah, now that's a question. That's a good question.
Mitchell Schwartz is the only answer, and I got news for you. He ain't going to Chicago.
Or Okung.
Okung's a left tackle, not a right.
Yeah,
he ain't
that's right.
I got news for you.
Tevin Jenkins is going to play the left.
You get very Rick Wagner in a hurry, and I got news for you. That ain't any better.
No.
DeMar Dotson's probably the second best right tackle on the market.
Yeah, that's not an improvement.
This is a question that might be a little bit off the path, but I wanted to ask it to you for a little bit, Jeremy, is how many I'm so sorry, cuts are there going to be that are going to be making a difference when it comes to, like, veteran cuts that are going to be big in free agency this year, do you believe?
I would say there will be less this year than there were before. So many teams had to do the calisthenics to get under the cap. That you got there's a lot of teams counting on a lot of young guys. So how many happen, when the rosters get trimmed down, guys that don't have a lot of guaranteed money, I could see a lot of movement the week before the season. I don't see a lot between now and then.
Okay.
I just think if you were going to make moves on guys, you'd already done it.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, the cap calisthenics were so aggressive.
Yeah.
All right, now time to talk about the bottom feeders in the NFC North. It's the Detroit Lions.
Not for long.
Oh, you think this is a team on the rise?
How many times have I said that?
A lot.
146?
I mean, they're doing everything.
Why?
They're doing everything right. And the front office, the head coach.
And I understand these are hyenas and not coyotes, but or hyenas and not lions. But previous regime, this regime.
But does crazy always make it better?
I'm not talking about the head coach. I don't give a damn about Dan Campbell. You know what I care about? They put two really smart coordinators around him. Anthony Lynn, that was a head coach, Aaron Glenn, that's going to be. You know why you do that? Because Dan Campbell is the figurehead.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell is the guy that goes into press conferences and tries to rally the fan base because the city of Detroit likes blue-collar guys.
Yeah.
The Bad Boy Pistons and the Ben Wallace Pistons.
Yeah.
You ever notice that was the only team that's won a title in the last 25 years that didn't have a star?
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. They had a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
Billups, Jefferson, or Hamilton, Ben Wallace.
Yeah.
That's what Detroit's all about. They like blue collar, so they brought in the most blue collar coach of all time. And you gave a GM in Brad Holmes as much leash as any GM in the league because you know you're going to be bad. You know you're going to be bad.
Yeah.
But I loved the draft. I think they did a great job in the draft.
Yeah.
Added a bunch of guys that I really like. Amon St. Brown's one of my favorite late round flyers this year in fantasy.
Listen, they got a left tackle that's going to be an all-pro out of the draft this year. He's going to be an all-pro somewhere down the line.
Don't talk about Penny Sewell because we think he's the second coming of Christ, apparently.
Well, we do because we're right.
Well, I mean, in the comments,
we're right.
I mean, in comments with, Penny Sewell just fixes everything, right? Nobody's a hell of a start.
Yeah.
And in Detroit, best case scenario, they're happy they went to Jared.
That's right. Yeah. Jared Goff ends up being, being serviceable. And not just serviceable, but proving that he can be a guy that you want to stick with for a couple of years. Look, here's the problem with that, though. If he is, they're not going to be bad enough to get one of the top picks next year to get a quarterback.
Not necessarily true.
I struggle to believe that Jared Goff can be really good and prove that he needs this job or that he's earned this job going forward. You're not going to have that if they're 5-win team.
There's something to be said.
That's an asinine comment. You can see something out of Jared Goff and the team suck because the defense is not overly good. It's going to take some time. The weapons are brutal. You got young guys.
Yeah.
Outside of Terrell Williams and Brashad Perriman. But now, can you see things out of Jared Goff? Absolutely. Don't turn the damn ball over. The only knock on Jared Goff is he turns the ball over too fucking much.
And here's the thing.
The arm talent's good. He started in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he's 26 years old?
Yeah, he's still young. He's still young. And I think
you can see all of the things out of Jared Goff,
Yeah.
and this team still be 2-15.
Yeah, and I think that here's the thing. I think getting Jared Goff out of Los Angeles where everything was about how he was the problem, how everything with Los Angeles was his fault. And I think that after a while, that tends to get on top of you a little bit. And it tends to getting into a new spot, getting into a new regime with somebody like a Dan Campbell, with a Anthony Lynn, with these guys that can maybe pump him up, can get him out of there. And we forget he was the number one pick in the draft for a reason. I mean, it's not like he was just...
And they gave up a shitload to get him.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was just a bum that got drafted. He's not Ryan Leaf. You know what I'm saying? He's not Ryan Leaf at all. He started in the Super Bowl. He's very good. I still think there's a path where he can be a pretty good quarterback in, like he said, this team. And I could see a path where they actually look at him as a future for this team.
I agree. I think that's where we fucked up with the Stafford deal. We looked at it as though they got an extra one to take on Jared Goff. What if they didn't? Where did Brad Holmes come from?
L.A.
L.A. Brad Holmes had a hand in drafting Jared Goff.
Yep.
Been with him. Seen him every day. You don't find that strange? We all thought, why would they take on this contract? It's just to get the draft pick. What if it's not?
Yeah.
What if the hate has gotten so stupid on Jared Goff that Brad Holmes looked at him and went, I can get Jared Goff and get a 1 for taking him,
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. Because here's the path of righteousness, and this is I got news for you. I'm looking at the Lions schedule right now. If I'm being as rose-colored, lion-colored glasses as I want to be, I'm going to say 3 games on the schedule that they could win.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be no better than 3-14.
Cincinnati, Philadelphia, and where's the next one? Atlanta.
That's the 3.
Okay.
You're not beating any of the other teams on the schedule. You're just not. And you don't want to. At the end of the day, you don't want to. This is a blip year. Mm-hmm. So, you said, can they be bad and still believe in Jared Goff? Absolutely. Yeah. Because they've given him nothing, and they've done it on purpose. Yeah. Terrell Williams and Brashad Perriman are 2 of the most injury-prone receivers in the NFL. Yeah. So, can you see things out of Goff where you go, yep, that's going to be fine. Mm-hmm. And then what do? You go into next year where you have 2
number 1s.
And guess what? There's a guy at the top of this draft that's about as can't miss as I've ever seen in my life.
Kayvon Thibodeau.
Derek Stingley.
Oh, Derek Stingley. Okay.
Kayvon Thibodeau could be the guy too. Just depends.
Right.
Depends on what you feel the burning urge to do.
Yeah.
Right. But Derek Stingley is about as Derek Stingley Jr. is about as can't miss of a corner as I've ever seen.
And I think they can do that, and they see Goff going forward. So unless he's crazy, then they would go after a quarterback. But I just still, for some reason, I believe that Jared Goff still has something left to prove. And I think he's going to be a lot better than most people think, where they can use that number 1 pick on something different. And I think that might even be the better path for Detroit becoming more relevant quicker than if they were to just cut ties with him and go with a rookie quarterback.
Here's the thing. The quarterback class is not great. I believe greatly in Sam Howell.
Yes.
I don't believe in anybody else.
Yeah.
Spencer Rattler, stop it. Malik Willis, stop it. Raw Tool's great. Mm-hmm. You better put him in the right situation. And it's not Detroit. It's not.
Keaton Slovis.
I don't buy Keaton Slovis as far as I can throw him.
Okay.
He likes to turn the ball over a bunch.
Tyler Shuck.
I like Tyler Shuck better than most. But he's going to Texas Tech where the stats are going to be inflated and his stocks are going to go up because people, what if we missed on Pat Mahomes? They went to the same school and make him the same guy.
Right.
I've said that for 10. I feel like I've said that for 11 years now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like if you're a team that only wins 3 games and you're sitting there with one of the top 3 picks, say it's good enough to get them the number 1 pick.
You take Kayvon Thibodeau.
I mean, I don't know, but won't they kill you for not taking a quarterback?
Do you think they care?
Oh, you mean the organization?
I got news for you. First of all, you're not going to get killed for not taking a quarterback in this class because there is going to be a ridiculous amount of disagreement about who's who. Mm-hmm. This will be a year where we have 5. There'll be 5 quarterbacks going first round of next year's draft, and nobody's going to agree on them.
Yep.
Nobody. You think this year was weird with Zach Wilson and Trey Lance and Justin Fields? Next year makes last year look like a Tonka toy.
And I honestly don't believe the Texans can win more than the Detroit Lions.
I don't either. I don't think the Texans can win a game.
So I think that they're going to get the number 1 and Sam Howell, and then like we talked about after that. So even if they're bad at 3-12, and I could see a path where if they did have the number 1 pick going with Sam Howell because I do believe in him. Other than that, other than having the number 1 pick to get him, no.
I'll be honest with you.
Reverse course.
I'll be 100% honest with you. If I'm the Detroit Lions and Goff plays, I would say he's 2.5 to 3 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio. I don't take Sam Howell if I get the number 1 pick.
Oof.
I'll take Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Because that's an impact pass rusher.
Yeah.
That's a building block piece. And guess what? Brad Holmes has made it very, very clear he wants to build this team the right way.
Yeah.
Right.
And he started this year with the left tackle. Yeah. And then you get an edge rusher, then you get a cornerback, and then you just start building that.
I'm very bullish on the future for the Lions.
I think that for the first time in a long time, I look at the Detroit Lions and say, hey, there's something there. But for the longest time, I've been like, there's no chance that this team's ever going to do anything.
There's one worst case scenario for the Lions, and it kind of plays into what Tank just said. It's like rain on your wedding day.
Yep.
It's ironic. The problem is, what if Jared Goff's not good and they still win like 4 or 5 games? Now you screwed yourself.
What if Jared Goff is good enough to get them 6 wins? What if somehow they can find a way to wind up in that mediocre territory, and now you're out, and now you're in that awful area that Jeremy never likes to be in. You're not bad enough to get one of the top picks. You're picking there right in the middle somewhere in the first round.
By the way, to do that, you would have to beat Denver and Chicago and Minnesota one time apiece.
Yeah. And I also think that the young guys, every young guy on your team needs to be all world. You know what I mean?
Not necessarily. To me, the worst case scenario is that I don't think there's a way you missed on Penny Sewell.
No.
The question then becomes, well, how many of your other guys did you hit on?
Yeah.
How many of these guys pressed into early action? Because I'm going to be really honest with you. If you look at this Lions roster, it's a borderline expansion team. Name me the three, without looking, name me the three best players on this roster.
The three best players on the roster?
Penny Sewell, DeAndre Swift, Jared Goff.
I'm not huge on DeAndre Swift. So I was going to go Romeo Okwara, TJ Hawkinson.
Oh, yeah.
Boo.
Swift.
Maybe. It's not a very good team. Mm-hmm. So to me, you're pressing a lot of young guys into action, and Jacksonville did this many years ago, back in the Blake Bortles era. Mm-hmm. Now they mishandled everything because they hit on a bunch of guys and wound up trading them for picks.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to play in Jacksonville. The worst thing that the Lions can do is have hit and not stick to the plan. To me, I have completely changed my mind on the Goff thing. I don't think he was a throw-in. I think Brad Holmes looked at him and went, that can be my quarterback. Mm-hmm. That can be my quarterback. I don't have to invest draft capital. I can build a young team around Jared Goff. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't have to be the star. And stat-wise, he's not going to put up gaudy numbers. And he's not going to cost me $1 trillion when we have to renegotiate this a few years down the line. Mm-hmm. I think that's how he looks at this. Because the thing that I don't ever hear people say is you've got an Anthony Lynn offense here. Mm-hmm. One of the and look, we killed Anthony Lynn, and it was for good reason
as a head coach,
because he can't manage the clock for shit.
Yeah.
Really ask yourself this: why was Justin Herbert so good last year? Yeah, raw tools, all the things. I get it. Mm-hmm. Why was he so good? Because the offense played within the frame of Justin Herbert. He was asked to do what he could do. He was put in a position to succeed. With Austin Eckler and the litany of running backs they had, and Hunter Henry and Keenan Allen, all of these are quarterbacks' best friends. Mm-hmm. Do you not think Anthony Lynn's going to do that again?
Yeah.
And it's going to be a system where, we're going to run the ball a lot, and Goff's going to be asked to throw the ball 30 to 35 times a game. Just don't turn the damn ball over.
Right.
But you don't have to throw for 400 yards. This is not Sean McVay 2.0. You're not going to be asked to do that much. You're going to be asked to be a game manager.
Yeah.
And you're going to be a really good version
of Alex Smith.
Alex Smith.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly who I see him being. And I think his future in Detroit is going to be that of Alex Smith that can win you games, more games than most people would think as a Detroit Lion in the future. I don't think next year because I think they're still too young. But I believe that, to be honest. And I think the Jamal Williams signing is a little bit underrated. I think he's better than Adrian Peterson.
He's going to get more tote than you think.
Yeah.
Stop taking DeAndre Swift in the middle of the second round.
Yeah.
One move. The one move. Well, I wouldn't do a damn thing. There is not a move. Do not do anything to make this team better than it is right now. I don't want this team to be better if I'm in the front office. That's just me. I want the highest pick possible next year, and I don't want to do a damn thing to disturb what we have. Let's roll into it with this. Let's see what kind of craziness Dan Campbell can, give us over the season. We're going to be bad regardless. There's not one move that we can do that is going to turn us into any kind of a contender, any shape or form. So don't do a fucking thing.
I see. For me, it would be move some of these vet guys. Open up the path to playing time for some of the younger guys.
Yeah. Then that's kind of where I was at. Also, maybe with the pickup, maybe try to grab some guys that some teams have given up on that you maybe see
high upside.
Probably give them an opportunity to see what you do. There has been hundreds of guys that have missed at their first teams, but there's upside to them. Mm-hmm. Whether it have been injuries, whether it have been this or that, or just the personnel that they had that can do something for you. And I think that's a path that Brad Holmes, I think, can take, is looking to some of the scrap heaps and bringing in these guys. And then just, like Terrell Williams and Brashad Perriman, they're there and these kind of guys. But I'm thinking about some wide receivers, young guys that haven't gotten an opportunity that have some upside. Mm-hmm. I think what you need to do is bring them into camp and see what they have.
And that's kind of where I'm at.
Yep.
Is get Jamie Collins. Jamie Collins is the one that I can't get away from. I think you could get a not huge value for him.
Right.
Trey Flowers. I would personally rather see the Aquara brothers as the 2 pass rushers on this team at the same time.
Yeah.
Julian and Romeo Aquara. That's how I would like to see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't see Trey Flowers being a member of your future.
Yeah.
And I still think he can. Now, granted, would anybody want to take on his contract? No, you're going to eat it. But just get the older guys out of the way and let the young guys go.
Okay. Anyhow, Detroit Lions, there's not a lot of wins going to be there for you. And at this point, you better hope that Jared Goff proves something to you or go get your quarterback next year.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
We've been doing this for almost 2 hours.
We have, but
we have got
it is time.
We're not going to work that way. I remember that thing I told you about.
You said
we can't
38 seconds. You said 38 seconds. You can get
I
this
also
done.
said I've got shit to do today, so we can't go for 2 fucking hours. I said that about 9 times before we started.
Okay.
See, he's
never gonna pay this off.
See, this is the ringlet. I'm not gonna pay it off. He was sitting behind you. We went for an hour and 45 minutes. Brian can vouch this. How many times did I say I've got too much shit to do between now and 2 o'clock?
A lot.
I tried.
We're talking too much about these things. It's just we're so excited about football that we can't stop talking about it.
And
that's what it is.
I'm not complaining about it.
Yeah. We're just like, oh my God, it's football. Let's talk about football. How many things can we talk about? And then
we also have a sales guy that's sitting around waiting on something I was supposed to send him 25 minutes ago.
Okay, well, fine. Eventually, Jeremy's going to get to chug some sweet tea.
It's going to go back in the fridge. It's going to happen tomorrow because because you know what division we're talking about tomorrow?
What's that?
The AFC East.
Hey, that should be quick and easy.
Oh, yeah, that will be so quick with the New York Jets. Like, we'll be not talking about them for a while at all. Yeah. Never would talk about them.
There's not much to talk about the other team in the division. Bill's really good. And I have spicy's on everybody else.
Oh.
Nice. So that'll be coming up tomorrow, and of course we'll have the full recap of the home run derby and everything coming your way.
I can't wait
tomorrow.
to break that down.
Yeah.
I'm at least looking forward to it tonight. We'll be with you this afternoon on ESPN, Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 The Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene every weekday afternoon at 3 to 5, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400 and heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. He's Brian Haynes, and we'll see you next time.